So in the past, there have been articles that have come out saying that the authors felt that when they tried to retrofit the stock to flow model with gold, it didn't work. And so then they felt that stock to flow for Bitcoin won't work. What do you say to such critics?
Yeah, that was one of the critics. There's a lot of them. I like the discussion, and we have had a lot of discussion. This is one of the arguments that I don't really understand, because I know that one study that was published with this argument used like 100 years of gold data and then concluded, well, yeah, there is no relation between the stock to flow over that 100-year period and the market value. But they forgot that since 1971, or everything before 1971, the gold price was the dollar price. So there was no movement in the gold price denominated in dollar at all. If you look at the charts, for example, there is one little jump in around the World War II period where Roosevelt, it was a little before that, it was 33, I guess, where Roosevelt stole the gold from the American people, and that it was illegal to have gold. And in that period, they jumped the dollar price of gold a little. But from there, it has been flat. And before that, 1933 Roosevelt action, it was flat as well. Bitcoin or gold, dollar was gold. It was defined literally as a measure, a certain amount of ounces of gold. So you can't take a data set with a lot of data before 1971 and then conclude that the gold price did not move with the stock to flow, because it did not move at all. And in fact, in my own charts, I take 10 years of data, stock to flow data of gold, and market value data. And what you see, it's one little dot on that chart. So you see Bitcoin move, but the stock to flow of gold and and the market value of gold did not move that much at all. So I'll repost that chart in one of the tweets later this week. You can see for yourself. It's really not moved at all. And in that study you are referring to, there was a chart with 100 years of data, and they just didn't acknowledge the fact that gold and dollars were the same before 1971.
So speaking of dollars, obviously we're in a very unusual time historically right now with the pandemic. How would you say the pandemic has influenced the Bitcoin price over the last almost 2 years? Yeah,
in the beginning it went down. So in March 2020, we had this, everybody was scared. Everybody was panicking and sold everything from stocks to bonds to real estate to even gold and Bitcoin. But in the long run, I think it has been very good for the Bitcoin price because of debasement, because of the Fed printing all that money. And of course, that was the reason why Satoshi Nakamoto invented Bitcoin for the first place. The problem with our current money is the debasement that the central banks are doing. And they have been doing that for ages, literally since the Roman empires. They diminished the silver content of the denarius as a way to enrich themselves and steal, literally steal from the people. So, and that's what central banks are doing right now. They do it for the greater good, of course. That's the narrative. So to save the banks in the 2008 financial crisis, and to save all the companies and for example, airliners now in the COVID period. But somebody has to pay that, and it's paid through debasement. Our dollars, the dollars that you and I have in our pockets, become less valuable. And we see that in inflation. First, asset inflation, house prices, equity prices, everything of value rises, including Bitcoin. And that's so it has been very, very good for the Bitcoin price. But now it trickles down to energy prices, energy inflation, gas, electricity, etc., and even core inflation. So, of course, central banks have been saying it has been transitory, but we all know it's not transitory. It's here to stay, and it will become worse. So, yeah, those trillions and trillions of dollars, I think it's 8 trillion to be exactly, that the Fed and also the European Central Bank, by the way, is also $8 trillion that they printed. That problem has to be solved. I don't know how. It's it will be very interesting to see in the next couple of months or years how that's getting resolved. But it will be nasty, I think, and there will be winners and losers. And I think Bitcoin is one of your safe bets in this